Thanks for joining us here on the Ethereal Podcast for, what is this, episode 9 now? Yeah. Okay, so episode 9. So today we're going to get into spirituality in TV shows and movies, hidden spiritual meanings that you can pretty much find them anywhere.
Yeah, I was like, in anything. Guess it depends on your beliefs, but like according to like my beliefs, like everything is same. Like everything is like spiritual and divine by nature. So like the thing about my belief with spiritual stuff is that even when they're not intending to do something, you're still doing something on a spiritual level. So that's why I feel like there's always a spiritual like thing you can find in it, because whether they intended it to be deeper than it was or not, you can still find it because it's always there. It's just about if you're looking for it.
Humans are always doing things with deeper meanings without realizing them subconsciously.
Even in regards to picking candle scents and colors. I was talking to someone not that long ago about that. They're like, how do I get into like witchy stuff? And I was like, well, you can start, I was like, with the simplest things, to start with things you already encounter. I was like, so like if you do candles, think about the colors, think about the scents, what they can do. Mm-hmm. It's like, or you can switch to incense. And I was like, and think of all the things that different things they do. And I was like, wow. It's simple stuff you can think about, that everything has a meaning. Right. You just gotta look for it.
I like that.
That's one way to look at it.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I've been able to do that a lot more recently, especially in all these little children's movies I've been watching.
Oh yes, they put
They're so good
movies, because you got to keep in mind, like in a base set, like I feel like the people, we'll talk specifically about Disney, because a lot of children's movies are animated or Disney, but all of them, like they're still, because they're marketing to kids, I feel like a long time ago when they got started, they already kind of understood that like children are just like little blank computers being programmed. So like it's so great to program what you want in a way that they can digest.
And that's the way that the movie it wasn't Soul, but it was
Soul's a good one.
I'm blanking. It's one where they've got the little
Inside Out.
Yeah, Inside Out. Such a goodie. Oh, it's such a good movie. But that made me cry.
Oh, me too. I sobbed. I was in like, the theater. You can literally ask her. I was like, she looked over. I'm like, and she's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like,
my inner child.
Oh my god, this is a lot. Like,
yeah, I learned a lot from that movie. It's helped me process a lot of things.
On a very, it reminds me of the same thing, but very different. That reminds me of like Human Resources. That's how I felt like it was. Like Inside Out is for like people of all ages to comprehend different like set emotions, like just your set of emotions
and the core memory thing.
Right, like that's those huge. Things, like those are two things that it really touches on there. And then, like Human Resources is supposed to be this like raunchy adult animation, but they do have a lot of stuff in it, because instead of it being different emotions, it's just like the concept of all these different parts of you. Like
I'm gonna have to watch Human Resources.
It's so like, I'm telling you, like it's one of those shows where if you're fine with how like raunchy it gets, in my opinion, it's a lot easier to digest than, I mean, I did still watch Big Mouth, but I still watch every season. However, it is harder because of their ages for me. Comprehending their ages makes it harder, whereas like Human Resources, it's pretty much all, for the most part, like adults if they're humans. Right. There's like someone who's like married and pregnant, and there's different people, and you have all these different characters that you're kind of following behind. And you see, what I think is interesting is, because in Big Mouth you just see the hormone monster. So it's like, it's a funny concept, because it's like, yeah, you know what? That does feel like a piece. She does feel like the hormone monstrous does exist.
Honestly, there are moments where it's my time of the month that I'm like, there is a beast inside of me controlling me. I am
exactly
so sorry.
So it's just like I totally get that. So it's fun, like in the Human Resources, because instead of just seeing the hormone monsters, like you still see them, and that's why it gets so raunchy. But you see all the other parts, and feel like the love bugs, I think, is interesting.
That part was cute.
Yeah, the love bugs is interesting because because it's like the concept of like if they're not functioning inside of you well, because your relationship with them is not well, like, and so the relationship with them being well is the relationship with yourself being well in that particular area.
Right. So if you don't love yourself first,
so
your love bug won't work for you, and love other people.
Yeah, so it's like this whole like ordeal. What's really funny too is they kind of talk about like the spectrum of emotion, like
it's like mental health and spirituality in these little TV shows.
Yeah, and it's just like little
so real
blits and pieces.
They're just sprinkling it on.
It was really great though. One of my favorite parts about the love bugs was the love bug starting out like really like lovey, and then all of a sudden he like started getting filled with rage, and she's like, "You're turning into," I think it's called like a hate bug or something like that, or whatever the fuck. Yeah, and he like points out that he was like that the line between love and hate is so thin that in order to hate something, you have to love it so much that you can hate it. Because if you don't care about it, you won't hate it. You don't care about it. So like we talk about like that too, which is like really like a fun, interesting thing. It's just a lot of little
the duality.
You see like all the different like depression kitties.
But yeah, so like these, I think TV shows and movies are doing a really good job lately of depicting more mental health issues and tools to deal with them, and that you shouldn't let these emotions just kind of take over the driver's seat with your ego.
Yeah.
Remember, guys, emotions in the body only last for 90 seconds. You can just get past that. Vibe with it for a little bit. You can just sit with that bitch.
I had a Snapchat today that was like a reminder from a year ago. And it was so funny because so the day started. It was like really hilarious. So it's like you click a day ago, a year ago today, and you just click through it. It starts off with me like taking like not safe for work pictures in the morning. then it has me like
I didn't know that until a year ago. Love that. The abbreviation, the NSFW. I had no idea.
I've known since I was like in elementary school, so I'm like
I just didn't know, and I didn't bother to look it up.
Okay, fair. But yeah, then I microdosed shrooms. I went outside and did art, like painted this color of the sky. And then I had therapy. And and I had it was literally me being so like sweet and like all zen, and then the next thing is me like sobbing. Yeah. But it reminded me of like what it said, what I put in it was that therapy ended. I was like, learned that I need to let myself feel every emotion because they're not bad or good, they're neutral. And so it reminded me of that. Like, it really is. It's hard. I had a hard time processing an emotion I didn't think was bad. If I thought it was a bad emotion, I didn't want to feel it, period. Which I feel like a lot of people are that way.
Oh,
it feels like shit. But I don't know. I kind of started to, the more I started to accept it, the more I started to not necessarily enjoy the negative emotions per se, but find the appreciation and being like, wow, like I have never in my life appreciated. It's something as simple as like when you can't fucking breathe, your nose stops up. You're like, I've never appreciated being able to breathe out my nose more in my fucking life. It's like it feels like that. It's like,
I hate that.
It's like those bad moments. Like I can at least in those moments be like, oh my god, I cannot wait till it gets good again. I will not take that for granted next time. Like, literally shit.
It's like I will breathe and I will.
Yeah, it's like I will do all the deep breathing, all of it.
Yeah, I did that this morning in a cold shower. It was
cold shower is good for you in that fucking way. Don't get me wrong. Sam has said I take cold showers. No. But he takes showers that are so hot that they leave your skin red.
Brittany does that sometimes too. I'm like,
you know what? I feel like I told one time, like, I just feel like if you take a shower, and this could just be my theory, but if you take a shower that is that hot that you get out and you're like scalded,
you're sweating.
Yeah, first off, but I feel like talk to your therapist. That's some type of self-harm. That's real.
I agree.
Like, your skin shouldn't be like red after. People be like, in that hot ass shower, I'm like, you just wanted to feel something? Like, why did you do that? I like it on the cooler side.
I'm like, I'm sweating.
If I get hot, I can't fucking breathe. I'm like, shut down.
I'm like, what is going on? I don't understand.
Just watched another one's fall.
Yo, we got these foam pads for the wall, absorb the sound, and oh, there goes another one. We watched 2 of them just fall off the wall just now. We have to get different adhesive. It does not work.
The foam is not sticking to the sticky. The sticky is sticking to the wall, though. We just gotta glue the foam to the sticky.
Exactly. Oh my god. Alright, so what's another good movie, TV show? We could talk about spirit science.
It's a good YouTube channel. So actually that is good, because here's the thing, a lot of movies and shows are on, unfortunately, are all things that you have to pay for. YouTube you can watch for free. And here's also what's really cool about spirit science. They have
So good.
they have a playlist that is hidden like spirituality in different movies. So you can literally go and watch it. I'm pretty sure almost all of them, if not all of them, before. Because I just think it's so interesting. Like to see like all different things they point out. It made me like, when I first started feeling like, there's deeper stuff on everything, I got into watching that, and then it got me into like, from seeing what they would look for, it made me start to know what to look for.
Right. You picked up the tools, the skills to find the hidden spiritual little things. But I mean, it's been so long since I've watched spirit science in general, honestly. I really, really want to get back into it.
I really do.
I'm gonna start implementing.
I try to keep up from time to time.
I attribute a very large part of my, like, I remember I was like, Saige, you would really like spirit science, and you were like,
that's all it took. I like spiraled. The second you showed me, I was like, I think you really like this. Yeah, I was like,
I hyperfixated on it. I got to episode 30 all in a couple of weeks.
It was just like, at first when I started, it was like I just started watching the ones I wanted to know. Just started doing that. And then before I knew it, it was like I watched all the ones I wanted to watch, and then it was like, I just want more media from them. I want more. I want more. So then I was watching all the things that I was like, I didn't really want to watch this last time, but I'm like, I just want to know what it is. I
want to go back and watch them, because I feel like I know so much more now.
Yes, I feel like there's so much.
I remember when I first heard the phrase sacred geometry,
2019,
and now I see it everywhere.
When I got into spirit science and everything like that, it was 2019.
For me, it was 2018.
That's so funny to think about. I remember you telling me about spirit science a long time before I started, but you told it to me before I started my spiritual journey, so I didn't have interest, which is so interesting, because I loved learning. But because I wasn't in a spiritual zone yet, it was like, I was like,
I know. I've showed some people the very first spirit science video, and they've been like, yeah, I don't know. And I'm like,
you're just not that.
You just need to.
Because you get there. Because I was the same way when I first saw. I was like,
just watch what you say.
Yeah, I was like, it's interesting.
You're cool. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I was like,
that's the ego talking. I'm like, you're crazy. What do you mean this doesn't make sense to you?
It's so fascinating. The guy, I cannot remember his name for the life of me, but the main dude,
I don't even.
Patch is the name of the character person. I don't know his real name, but
me either. I don't think I ever knew it.
One of the things he had said in one of the videos I saw, and I quote this, I tell people this all the time, which is what he said whenever he was talking about, someone was asking about the content of what he posted, or if he believed all the things that they posted, and he had said, I believe in everything and nothing. Anything could be true, but I have no proof of it, so I believe anything could be just as valid as the next. And I use that all the time. Because I'm just like, yeah, it's true. I don't have any real, definitive proof aside from lots of different things. So I'm just anything, just because it's valid to my reality doesn't mean it's not, other different things aren't valid to someone else's reality. So it's all of it is just as valid. So it's I believe in everything and nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I saw this video the other day, and it was to believe in one thing being true, you have to believe in 10 other things being true as well. So if I'm going to believe that the contents of this map are correct, well, I have to believe that the person that made the map was this, that, and the other, and I was like, wow, okay. So, truly, I mean,
there is no fact.
Exactly.
I had some realization I hit, and it blew my fucking.
There's no facts.
There's genuinely no facts, because even the things we think we know as facts, we have years later found out a different truth and realized that we were wrong. So just because it's a fact today doesn't mean
polar opposite wrong.
Exactly.
Sometimes.
Just because it's a fact today does not mean it'll be a fact tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you have to you have to be very open minded in this fucking.
And really, there shouldn't be any hills to die on. at that point because you don't know what is and what isn't.
Yep.
Like, don't argue just for the sake of arguing. Save your energy.
Yeah. Choose your, like, because you gotta keep in mind, if you keep in like a scientific realm of like, okay, I'm a magnet and I have this energy, and the only way this energy fluctuates is by it being expelled, brought back in, da da da. Every time that you talk, you're putting out more energy than if you were just breathing out.
Right.
So if you're going to give that much of your energy to something, make sure it's something that's actually worth taking your energy. And that's something I had a hard time learning. Because I just would always talk. And I still talk a lot. But I try to choose the topics I'm talking about better. Because, like, some things I'm just like, it's just not worth my time. It doesn't matter. Like, it's not worth my energy. Like, I don't want to give them my energy.
Right.
It's literally like, I'm selfish. I don't want to have it. True.
It's like, they don't deserve it.
Yeah. Like, it's got to the point where, like, I used to be like, I didn't ever say nothing back, and then I got to the point where I was super, like, angry teen, was like, scream at them, curse at them, say things, and now I'm just like, you know what? They're not even worth my breath. I'm like, fuck it. Like, it's such a weird...
Yeah, and I feel that on the inner teen being like, literally go kill them. I'm like, no, babes. There are so many more methods that I have that can protect you and help you.
Yeah.
You don't need that anger.
My inner teen, she's there. I just realized I have a lot of anger I suppressed for a long time anyways. So I didn't allow myself to feel that shit. So, like...
You and Brittany both. I could have told you that one.
Yeah, I didn't know. It took me a while.
Everybody has to figure out things.
Yeah, it took me a while because what I would do was, because I didn't... I told myself it wasn't okay to be angry, that it was a bad thing to feel. I would immediately turn anger into sadness or something like that. So I wouldn't realize that I was actually angry until I processed all this sadness. And I was like, why is this feeling not going away? And then my therapist was like, he's like, maybe the problem is you're processing the wrong emotion. And I was like, the fuck? So I'll sit there and I was like, what is the emotion? And I look at that fucking wheel and I'm like, reading each one. I'm like, when is the right one? Tell me. Saying to myself. I ran over like some of the angry ones, and it was like my body was like, and I was like, "Oh, I'm angry." Okay. I was like, turns out I'm actually angry, not sad. It's like I just told myself I was sad, but I was sad that I was angry, but it's because I was telling myself that anger was a bad emotion.
Right.
It's neutral.
You were fighting the anger. That's what I love to let people know. Is like, hey, babes, when you resist a certain emotion,
it makes it worse.
It's gonna make it worse, but it's gonna come out in another avenue. It's literally just gonna seep out of every hole possible.
Yep.
Like, you gotta let it out. Sometimes you gotta pull it out when you shove it down so deep.
Yeah.
You have to do some crazy breathing rituals to even get it out.
I keep saying I want to do another. I've done like the different... I mean, I do breath work all the time, but not like real like breath work, like 10, 15, 20-minute things.
Mm-hmm.
Where they have like the full body like feelings and like about stuff like
Kundalini.
Yeah. I want to do it so bad, I just keep forgetting it.
I did it yesterday and I literally felt like I was gonna faint.
Yeah.
Like the pressure in my ears and my head and my eyes, I was like,
yeah.
I had to like let out the breath because I was like, that was intense.
Yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes I'm better at like holding my breath. I'm a lot better than I used to be, but they've been wanting to hold your breath for a long time. I'm like, yo, I'll pass out.
But then you're
it's like I know I'm not. That's the thing. Like, what's gotten me to go longer is usually when I start to feel like, oh my god, I need to breathe. I literally just start like in my head, the thought keeps circling of like, I am not the body. I know how long you can take it. I know how long you can handle it. I got it. I can see when you're gonna do it. I'm good. Like, trust me. I have to keep reminding myself to trust myself. But I always say the Sims references. I use that all the time, like to myself, because it makes it easier for myself. So when I'm doing something, I'm like, hey, remember, like, I see all your stats. I know when you need something, and I'm already taking care of it. You don't see your stats, you just feel it.
Your higher self.
It's like I'm running the game. It's like, babe, I can see when your oxygen's too low. I can see when you need to sleep. I can see when you need to eat. You might tell me, oh, I feel this, but I'm like, I see it.
Right.
I know I got it covered.
Right here in front of me, like on the screen.
It's like the whole, like, trusting in your higher self that they know how to take care of you.
Boom. there's your hidden spirituality in Sims.
Oh, there's so much hidden spirituality in Sims. Holy shit.
Oh, freaks out.
Because, like, Sims was, like, a game that, like, I really feel like I had a lot of epiphanies about when I used to do the,
You referenced it, and I'm
the Tappy Pappy. Well, that's because I literally reference it in my life every single day. That's what I, like, every... Yeah, I was saying I did when I was Tabby Happy. That's when I had the first realization about The Sims, because I was like, I don't know, I was sitting there, and I just remember being like, how you play Sims tells you exactly what you go wrong with in your life if you don't play it correctly. And I was like, what do I do? And I was like, oh, I put their needs where I never have to focus on them. They're always perfect, so I don't have to take care of them. I just make them do things, like do their hobbies. And I was like, oh my god, I don't ever take care of my Sims. That's why I didn't know how to fucking take care of myself, like, ever. Brittany, all she fucking does is design houses. She never fucking takes care of those bitches, like, unless they're all fucking each other. Like, it really, like, it tells a lot about you.
See, I'm lazy as hell. I don't want to design the house.
Me either. I want to play them. I want to do their relationships, and I want to do their careers, like their hobbies and stuff. Like, I want to let them do things. I want them to do all the things, but I will literally turn their needs on static and not touch them. I don't want to have to make them sleep, eat, pee, screw that. They don't need any of that.
See, I will still make them sleep by choice because I love sleeping.
Even when they're not tired?
When it's nighttime.
Even if their bars,
if their needs are off. I mean,
well, here's the thing. I turn my needs off so their needs are never not green. They're always perfectly 100%.
Well, yeah.
So like, I want to make them sleep. Do you sleep when you're not tired? Because you're just like sleep? I do in real life. Or did you?
No, usually I nap when I'm tired. Yeah, I used to.
Yeah, I was like,
usually I nap when I'm tired, or if I'm just like simply too high to like continue functioning.
I need
a nap, bro.
I'll be honest.
No, you can't.
Me and sleep have a complicated relationship because I sometimes have to give myself nightmares sometimes to wake myself up because I like sleep that much. If it were up to me, like, I guess it's because of how long I lived my life like this, where most of my life was dreaming. So I had these really amazing dreams, and then I would wake up and then just like go to work and then come home and drink and then sleep and then do it again. So like, it's really hard for me because here's the thing. Tell me how dreams aren't perfect. Like,
half the time I don't even remember my dreams.
Okay, well, dreams are great.
Except for this morning, man. I just like
usually
got a random.
And you never get hurt in them. That's the thing. There's no pain. I don't feel pain in them. I was telling Duncan that the other day.
You also can't punch people in them. And you can't run.
Do you think I punch people or run in real life? What the fuck do I look like?
Oh no.
Like, what do you mean? You can't punch people or run.
Have you ever tried to hit somebody in a dream and you're just like,
no, but I do make people in my dream beat me up if I want to wake up and I can't get up.
I know, I remember you telling me that story.
Yeah, I love whenever fake Gail beat me up. I had to fight her in my dream because she was like,
you said Gail beat me up.
She was like, you're not sleeping right now. And I was like, I know I'm asleep. And she was like, no, you are not. She was really study about it. Dream Gale was trying to convince me. I hate when the dream characters, they never want to admit you're a dream. They drive me crazy. They always want to fight you. And I'm like, I know I'm dreaming. I know my real reality. And like, you fake. And I start pointing it out to them, and then they don't got nothing to say. So that's why she started beating me up. And she was like, well, she right. We don't live in Canada. And we're not from Chicago. That's what she'd said in the dream.
Oh my god.
And I was like,
I thought y'all were in Texas.
No, we were in Chicago not Chicago. We were in Canada in this like concrete area. It was like the walls outside and on the ground were concrete. So I remember telling her being into the concrete.
Yeah, I remember you said the last thing you saw was you getting curb stomped by her.
Yeah, I saw her foot coming at me in that dock shoe. Dogmore. But instead of a hit, I just woke up and I was like, damn. I love that you can't feel pain in dreams. At least I can't at all because I hate always being in pain. So that's why I like sleep so much. There's just no pain at all.
Why are you in so much pain?
Got a lot of problems. Crickets.
You need to do some more yoga or mobility.
I need to I want to start doing some like mobility like stuff every day because I really do. Like, don't get me wrong, I know that there are some problems that are just like whatever. And I feel like there's definitely things that are undiagnosed, and that's why I want to go back to my PCP, because I want to do some tests on me.
Did you say PCP?
Yeah. Primary care physician.
Oh.
That's your primary doctor in the medical field, PCP.
Interesting acronym choice.
Yeah, it's your primary care physician. But I want to go to him because I always talk about, like, when I was a little fucking infant, and they told me I wouldn't, like, be alive and I'd have all these issues. And I'm like, okay, now that I'm actually a fully grown adult, I really want to do scans to figure out what isn't functioning right. Because there are certain things that I know are, like, certain organs, there's no way, like, my liver, there's no way it's functioning right because that was what got attacked so bad as a kid. So I'm like, I want to know what's going on in my body. But I do have a blood disorder that makes me tired.
I gotcha.
I forgot about that.
But I just want to know why you're in pain. I used to be in a lot of pain because I used to sit too much and I just had terrible posture and I had herniated discs.
Yeah, I do have a herniated disc.
I wasn't moving properly. And so now that I've been in physical therapy and been doing jiu-jitsu, I'm just so much more mobile because I know how to properly move my body.
There's definitely, like...
It just takes a lot of time and dedication.
Yeah, there's, like... I have a herniated disc at the bottom and I have some, like, problems with my neck. And I do have don't get me wrong, my neck and back hurt every day. But I'm just also, I got big titties that make my back hurt. But, like, that is, like, some of the pain. But I feel just, like, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with me. Because, like, my right knee, not right, hurts every single day. I think it's because the bottom of it, like, the bottom half of my leg's crooked. So, like, after walking on it all day, like, my knee, like, kills me every day. And then, look at another panel. And then...
They just slowly keep falling off the wall.
I don't know. You don't ever have, like, you don't just be chilling.
I used to
you're just
until I got in physical therapy the last, like, 4 months, 5 months. And now I'm like, oh, I've been literally walking wrong my entire life. So
I definitely know I've been walking wrong. I don't know. Sometimes, I mean, I do have, like, probably, like, something pinched in here that's driving me crazy. But I don't know. Sometimes it just hurts to breathe.
I mean, I feel that though. That's how I felt before I started going to the chiropractor and before the jiu-jitsu. Now, sometimes it hurts to breathe and be alive after jiu-jitsu too.
That's fair.
But
I miss the chiropractor.
Anyways,
I want to go to chiropractor and physical therapy.
How the hell we get on this topic? I don't know. So, who's ever watched the OA? I know you haven't.
No,
which is really depressing because
it
is so good. First off, Netflix, I'm trying to fight since y'all discontinued this
I feel that way about quite a few.
There were supposed to be 5 seasons. There are 2. And then they stopped it. But those 2 seasons are still worth watching. You can play out the endings in your head, you know.
I love doing that. Sometimes when the ending's wrong, I just rewrite it in my head anyways.
That's fair. To me,
long enough.
I do that too, but
that's how Mandela effects happen, probably.
Probably. To me, though, the OA is probably one of the more spiritual shows that I've watched, like hidden meaning wise.
What the fuck is
because, girl, it's like all about consciousness and different dimensions and dimension hopping and shifting and like
how did I never heard of this in my life. Like I never heard about the plot. Like I've just seen like the OA like written, but I've never heard anything about it.
Some people won't read that deep into it and would be like, what the hell is this show about? But
okay, fair.
If you know even a little bit about quantum mechanics and stuff like that, spiritual, you will, I don't know, you'll love the OA, that's for sure, but I don't want to ruin it for people.
Guess that's fair. I'll Google it later.
But they essentially, before you die or the moment that you die, if you they kind of end up doing this like energy breathing exercise, dance kind of thing. And if they all do it together, then they can transport that person into a different dimension in a different life. So they're this person in a different life, but they don't know any of the people they recognize some of them, but they're completely different people than they were in that past life that she transported from.
Do they start like where they just Like they come to and they're like, I don't know what the fuck happened in this life, and I'm fully grown, and I just gotta go with whatever it is.
Essentially.
Is it just them in an alternate universe, or is it a whole different like person, like a different identity?
I think it's like an alternate.
Okay,
like,
so it's like them in another.
Yes,
okay.
it's them, that same being.
That's my theory about what happens in real life.
Yes,
when your soul's not ready for you to die. I think you just shift. That's why you have a near-death experience. Like you die,
and it's all based about near-death experiences.
Oh my God.
Okay, all right. Look,
so I'm gonna have to watch it.
So I'm just gonna like spoiler alert.
Zoom ahead. Click ahead.
The main girl, like she's blind when the show starts off, and she gets kidnapped by this guy who is obsessed with near-death experiences. So he kidnaps a bunch of people, keeps them in his base, and he continuously drowns them and brings them back to life and monitors their near-death experience and tracks the consciousness basically. And he's like able to like extract it in an alternate universe. So like she dies in one universe and goes to another one, and like he's the same person doing the same experiment but in a different way, and like
that's crazy.
And then on season 2 gets even crazier, because then there's this house and it's like this energy field, and you go,
I'll have to look into it. I can't believe I never knew that.
There goes another panel.
Oh, so what the fuck was that sound? Can't believe I never knew that, because that's my belief of what happens like in this life if your awareness isn't ready.
I'm telling you, I want to go rewatch it. I think I'm about to rewatch it like very soon, because it was so good, and it was just so similar to what we believe.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch it, because I watched. There was some
there
was some guru. And he was the one that had said that like this. I don't know which one it was, but or it was a monk or what exactly. But I remember reading that he had said that the moment of death is when you're aware, like when you as the awareness chooses it. And I was like, that's such a weird concept. What does that mean? Because I was like, you can't really escape death. Like, what does that mean? And then I was really thinking about it, and I was like, well, okay, if I believe in these like alternate like. They're parallel like universe, like there's alternate universes that all like this at the same time. Time doesn't exist. I don't know. It's like, okay, well, and technically speaking, like I would definitely see, if I wasn't ready to die, my awareness would just go, okay, until
click out to another.
Until I'm ready.
It's like the fork in the road.
It's like, I don't know. That's also my theory. Like a lot of people are like, how do they justify this young person dying? And I'm like, they only died in your universe, so they didn't die for them. And that's my theory. That's their
consciousness.
It's like their consciousness is still there. So in my theory, I'm like, well, they don't. It's sad that they are not here in my reality, but in their reality, maybe I'm not there. Like, because that's just my belief that there's all multiple like realities happening at the same time, and they're all, whatever. So I'm like, at any given moment, anything is happening. You're just witnessing one particular, possible timeline.
You are the apple experiencing itself.
Yeah. Your life.
But not that you see it. Yep. Crazy. So yeah, that's a very good one. Very deep spirituality there. Highly recommend. Even though I just ruined it for a bunch of you guys.
I mean, how is it ruined?
It's not ruined, but I definitely gave you.
I have a weird thing about spoilers. There's just so I don't get them, because nothing. I mean, I'm a weirder person. I'm a weirder person because I love looking up and reading the whole thing about a movie. Like, I love reading all of it, even before I watch it, before, during, or after. I love it.
People that look up the ending of a movie while they're watching it. What?
I've done that plenty of times.
I don't understand.
Why. Are you watching
because the movie I like
you want to be surprised?
Probably.
I'm watching the movie because I want to fully understand the story they're telling me. So I like looking it up because I can follow along and see what little hints they're giving me along the way to fully grasp everything they put into it. Like, fair. So if it's for instance, if it's like a scary movie and they're like, who's the killer? How do we figure it out? I love to look it up. Because then when I watch it, I'm like, where are all the hints that I didn't see or I wouldn't have seen in the beginning? Like,
that's fair.
So like, I like to do it for that. Like, it keeps me entertained with the whole film.
No, that's
or movie. Like, it keeps me really like into it because I'm just like, wow, there's so, and it makes you see the depth in things. I really like seeing how much work people really put into things.
This one doesn't. I don't think this has much of a spiritual meaning, but it does. It's like a big like play on capitalism and stuff, and women and like the abuse that mothers go through. But have you seen Vivarium?
Does that sound familiar? But I don't know.
It's about this couple that's trying to buy a house, and they go to reluctantly go and view this house. And when they go to leave, every street leads back to the house, and they can't escape.
Yes, I did. Oh my god!
Me and Brittany watched it the other night, and we were like,
it's been a while since me and Sam watched it, but I remember turning it on. I think it was me and Sam watched it, or I watched it when he was at work. I don't remember.
What the?
I do remember that. I was like, I've watched a lot of like weird movies like that on Netflix.
No, I'm telling you, when that little demon boy thing screamed, I said, hell no, kill it with fire. I was all the way 100% with the husband. Let it die.
I mean,
that was terrifying. That thing gave me the creeps.
There are some spooky things.
I don't know why I brought that up, but that movie
was thinking about it too much recently. Talking about the movie I recently watched, I guess this is another. I mean, this is more. It's not really spiritual, but it's just more of like a play on life and what was going on. But it's called The Bubble. It's this movie on Netflix, and it has great people in it. Don't make me say them because right now I can't remember a single one of their names. There is some notable actors in it though, but I can't remember. But it's basically set up
with actors and actresses' names.
Yeah, it's like I can't think right now. My brain's trying to find their names and like drop it. It's not important, but it won't stop looking for them because it knows I know some of them. But anyways, it's set where like these actors of this like movie series, basically, like it's during the pandemic. So everything's locked down, and then they want to record this movie. And so they go to record this movie, which is called like something Wild Beast or Sex Beast 6 or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's called The Bubble because they have to go to the bubble, which is at this, basically at this like hotel, and they're but quarantined in these like hotels, and they just go to the set in there. But the movie was funny because they go from, it's really fucking weird, but they go from like scenes from the movie and then like showing them actually recording it, like in with the green screen in the background and stuff, and it's so funny. Like they'll be like on this, like one of them they're like on the side of a mountain like climbing, and you're like, oh, it's like so like when you're like climbing, they're like trying the hardest, and then it zooms out and it goes to the green screen, and they're just like dangling by these wires, like. But it was
my god,
it was pretty good.
Yeah, the green screen footage of like them filming Twilight, can't even imagine. Like I can't imagine what actors go through to make these movies look good for us.
That's like I tell people, that's how you know, like if there's a lot of, this is my golden rule. If there is a lot of CGI in the film, those are good actors.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a whole different level. It's one thing, but you know what though? I kind of feel like it'd be easier for me to act with a bunch of CGI stuff. Well, not in the case of Twilight. No, actually, no. I take my words back. It would be way funnier. Because my brain was like, maybe if I was like talking to someone, that'd be kind of like staring them in the eyes would be really like funny, and I would start laughing. But looking at like someone in like a gray suit and I have to like pet them, that would really.
I would be like, all right, I gotta go.
Oh my god,
I would laugh too hard.
Series. There's probably some hidden spirituality in Twilight series, but I ain't watched them in a minute, so.
I watched them recently because I had never watched them in high school and stuff. When people,
what the fuck do you?
Yeah, I don't know. Brittany made me watch them last year.
I can't believe you never watched them.
I had only seen Vampires Suck.
Wow. How was it in comparison after watching the film?
Fucking hilarious.
I love the parodies after watching films. Are so fucking funny.
Watching the parody before watching the film was even better. Because I was like, what the hell is going on?
I imagine, yeah. I feel like when you were watching,
me and Marshall went and saw it when we were in high school.
Yeah, we saw it in theaters as a family. I feel like watching that for the first time though, and then going back and seeing like the original, like when they have like the Black Eyed Peas, and you see who the Black Eyed Peas were in the film. You're like, oh, they're like murderous.
I laughed so hard. That was good. What are some other movie shows?
Midnight Gospel isn't like hidden. It's kind of open, but
it's very open. But I love the way they do
so
that.
Good.
Maybe
so
one day
good.
we'll get some animations over our podcast and we can just talk about some crazy shit.
Really, this is what it is, and I'm putting it out there so the manifestation can start. We'll find someone that loves animation that one day is like, let me jump on that, and we can get something set up.
I probably already know some people.
Yeah, exactly. Because like, here's the thing: and it's just kind of like random, but when I used to write fan fiction, right? I would just be posting my shit. And there was this one story that I was writing for a while, and they had dedicated ass fans to this shit. Like they were waiting every week whenever me and my friend would post our story, like posting it.
Oh, I believe that.
We were just big chilling.
I can't wait to make merch.
There was this girl, I'll never forget, I don't know her name, never talked to her ever again, don't know where she's at and what she's doing. She sent a picture to me and my friend that was writing the story. She's like, she's like from the UK, and she's like, I was on the bus and it was a long ride, so I decided to doodle. And she literally drew the characters that we had like done. She drew them all out, and like their personalities were like captured in their facial expressions. Like I was just like, we were freaking out. And like that was totally unsolicited. Like it was just like her just being like, "Yo, I've just been reading this. I really liked it. I liked how you depicted the characters. So here you go," and like drew them out and like gave them their little expressions and the way that it was just like it was so perfect. I remember us freaking out. Never had anything quite like that happen.
That's adorable.
And so I was just like, "Oh my god!" And that was completely like, I mean, so I just feel like, you know, as long as you put it out there, somebody one day would be like,
it'll
happen. I got it.
Yep. They're like, hey, what do you think of this?
That would be cool though. Imagine if we did get to the point where you could have like some animated like episodes, that'd be really good for when we like can't meet in person.
Right.
We can like just like when we just record it, the audio.
Yeah.
Then we can just slap that shit on. Like here's our cool animation.
I wonder what it would be like.
Imagining.
I'm picturing some funny stuff, but I don't really know how to explain it, so we'll just leave that for a later date. But Midnight Gospel, I've only seen actually a handful of episodes. I haven't watched it all. Crickets. I can't wait to be a little sound.
Yeah, crickets are gonna be one of them, bitch. Because what the fuck do you mean? Okay.
I don't know.
Binge that. I watched this. I watched the season finale while coming down and on acid, and let me say,
you were sobbing.
It did. I will still to this day, like that series really did do something like with my psyche. It really did. Like it's so.
I will
good.
have
like,
to listen.
Yeah,
to
you're gonna have to like listen. And what is cool is like. It is like technically from a podcast. Like you don't have to watch it. You only have to watch it if you want to watch the animated stuff because it's cool. It's funny.
The animated stuff, I think, is the distracting part.
It is. Well, this is like I have a running theory, and this is one of the theories I'd said that like anytime if you really watch, you see it in everything. Anytime something gets too serious and spiritual and like in depth in media, it's like they have to break it up and they immediately do something weird and random, so you feel a little uncomfortable and you're like, what the fuck's going on? It's like weird. Same with human resources, does the same thing. Anything that's like a comedy, they do the same thing. It's they tell you something really serious and then they throw something behind it to make you like laugh, to like break it up, like break the seriousness. And that's how Midnight Gospel is. Like they say some really serious like stuff that really get you thinking, and then like right after that they'll have like fucking like people like getting like the little like creatures getting like meatified or something. You're like, what the fuck is going on?
Right.
But it's like something to immediately break up like how much, because if you just end it where they end it, you're like really thinking.
Right.
I feel like they're trying to like keep you to go along, but it is really good. Like even if you just listen to it, like it's so good.
Yeah, I think that's just what throws me off.
The finale is makes me incredible. Because the finale, I'm pretty sure like the finale is the I'm pretty sure that episode is the episode with his mom, who his mom has like passed away. I'm pretty sure from like cancer. This was right before she died. And it's them talking, and they were talking about like death.
Yeah, I'd be sobbing.
But it's so good because he's like, how are you like okay with knowing this? And just how the way she talks and the way they're going back and forth, and they have like the little weird like animation stuff going on, but it's just like it's so good.
I'm definitely
never finished. Oh my god. Talking about the OA, but you ain't finished Midnight Gospel.
Don't hate.
I would watch that again, cry again, but I would watch it again. It's so good.
I'll definitely go. I'll watch it. I promise.
I'm trying to think of some other stuff. I feel like everything has a bit of stuff tapped into it. Like,
What's the recent one that everybody's been going crazy about? We don't talk about Bruno. I can't remember the name of the just remember the song.
Oh, you made me forget it because you sang that.
Sorry.
Louisa. Starts with the E, I think.
Encanto.
Yeah.
Encanto. So,
have you seen that?
Yes,
I've seen it so many times.
I've seen it twice.
I've seen it like at least 5. At least 5, and got something from it different every time.
I have seen so many social media posts about it, breaking it down and like the mental health and all of the characters.
It's so interesting and it's really in depth. It's really cool.
I love it. Like the way that I don't know. I relate to Bruno a lot, and like I guess he's kind of like just blatantly would tell the truth to people, and everybody was like,
"Oh, this is all your fault."
Yeah, demonize him.
They would blame him for like saying what was like coming. Yeah, I could say it because I thought of saying too. It's like the same thing. Like y'all, you spot something and then it's like, oh, it's all you. It's like no, I'm just telling you.
Right.
Like, I just
saw my intuition's on point. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's like no, I just saw it and I'm trying to share that with you. It's not me. It's not my fault. Like,
right. What are the other ones? And other symbolism.
The way that I've watched it that many times and I don't remember all their names is really sad. But the first time I watched it, I was high off my edible. It was like 120 milligrams. I ate the full thing because I was like emotional. And I was at my friend Shelby's house and I was laying in her bed. And no, we were on the couch, I think. I don't fucking know. But we were watching it. And I didn't really want to watch it at first. Like, I didn't really care to. But then once that little song with the older sister started up, I was like really watching it. And I was peeking on that.
The older sister relationship.
Shelby turned around.
It reminded me of me and my sister.
She turned and looked around, and I'm just sobbing. Like I was just like this, not touching it, just letting the tears flow.
I love doing that.
Yeah, she was like,
"There's something
like,
about it."
Okay, and I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "It's just, you want to talk about something?" And I'm like, "No." I was like, I just. Like I'd seen the little clips from it, but I don't know, something about watching it and being really invested in the whole like movie and then seeing that part and like really like capturing what she was saying and like seeing how she was like depicting like what she was saying.
Right.
It's like I just didn't think, I never realized how much my inner child was going to relate to her until that song started, and that inner child was just like, "You're right, say it for me." And I was like, "The fuck?" I was like, "Whoa!" I was like, I didn't realize how much like pressure like I felt as a kid, like in that regard. I was like, "Whoa!" And that was really something.
Yep. And in the end, how the woman turns to the main character. What is her name? Little glasses, little cutie.
If it ain't Bruno, we don't know. No,
she's literally my favorite though, because like I don't know.
I related to her too. I related to her more.
I didn't relate to her too much because like I don't know. I feel like I wasn't very quiet and observant. I was very, like outspoken as a kid, but Brittany related to her a lot. But in the end, when she turns to her and she was just like, "I see you."
Yeah, that was.
Bruh, me and Brittany were sobbing. We looked at each other.
Yeah. Got me fucked up, bro. I was so like
y'all haven't watched that movie, go watch it because
it's really not just like a hype thing that people are talking about because it's a Disney movie. Like fuck Disney, but it is a really good movie.
It is. It's
fuck Disney as a corporation, but the film is really good and it is really
education
that like there are children that are like getting that as their programming now.
Yes,
just like
oh my god,
and like. Like Snow White, like
creepy.
The only thing, we really fed and like by Disney, a lot of it, especially like little, was like just like the princesses, Cinderella.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of the hidden meanings back then were religious, like very like Christian and Catholic hidden meanings. Like the Lion King is very, very. My mom used to love to talk about the Lion King and how it had such a beautiful Catholic meaning, and the guy that wrote it was Catholic and whatever. And I was just like, once I learned that, I was like, I didn't vibe with it anymore. I was like, I just ruined that movie for me. I love that movie.
I mean, I am, everybody eats their own. I just never understood why everybody was so obsessed with that movie. It never hit for me. But it was
very sad.
Yes. Here's the thing. This is what I think the problem is. Okay, because I've noticed a pattern. These movies that we're a lot of like classic movies that are like these great movies. I'm telling you, our society so numb because things they say is the best movies are things that are the most sad. It makes them feel the most.
Yep.
That doesn't make it a good movie, in my opinion. A good movie is something that makes you feel all like a bracket of emotions.
Yes.
I want to feel all of it. Angry, sad,
I want to be pissed off, I want to be sad, I want to be like questioning, I want to be on the edge of my seat.
Because it's full spectrum. It feels
anxiety.
Like
give me the anxiety. Yes. I love the psycho thrillers.
Like, exactly. Like, I want to feel all the emotions. If the biggest thing I'm feeling is sadness, it's not a good movie to me.
Right. Agreed. 100% agreed.
Like The Notebook. And oh God, I hate that people say that's a good, like, it drives me crazy that people say it's a good romance.
Terrible movie.
I don't think it's a good romance. I don't think Titanic's a good romance. I don't think none of those things are good romances.
They're all toxic romances. Why are you people using these as examples and idealizing
13-year-olds that met one night and then killed themselves the next day because they couldn't be together?
I don't understand.
And we're like, Romeo and Juliet's so romantic. Is it? What? I don't know. It's not romance to me. I feel like
I just don't understand.
I don't know. Maybe neurotypicals have a very different view on what is a healthy relationship, which is very obvious.
I mean, if that's what you're rocking with, baby, I'm not judging nobody. I just don't get it. I don't understand. But
it's not my job to understand at the end of the day.
There's a lot of things in this world that I don't understand. So
I don't understand about 99.9% of anything that exists. I don't understand anything, really.
I swear, 15 of these foam panels fall off while we've been recording.
I wonder if the audio quality has altered over time, like from the different ones falling off. Find out.
Hopefully not.
I doubt it because there's still so many on the wall, but that would be funny, honestly.
Brittany's gonna walk in here and be like, "What the hell happened?" It's like, kind of. Yeah.
It's an interesting look.
It used to look really good. It looked like a checkerboard.
Yeah, it looks great. We just need to glue them.
Making me angry. Not really, but it's frustrating. Do we have any other movies? Any TV shows?
I'm trying to think of. There's just so many. And that's the issue. It's like, which one do I want to talk about? Some are really obvious too, like the Matrix series.
Never seen that.
What?
Correct.
Have you? Okay.
I know. I haven't seen The Matrix. I did try to watch it, but the quality was so bad because it's such an old movie that I was like,
even that bad.
10 minutes in, I was like, no.
What? Okay, have you watched?
I'll give it another go. No. My whole life, people have been saying the red pill and the blue pill, and I'm like, what you talking about?
It's like my favorite movie series of all time. I just can't believe you.
I'm so sorry.
First of all, I can't believe you have you're like in a spiritual realm and you've never seen any of them or even like know to reference like what they're talking about. This is fucking insane to me. Like, I feel like, what do you know about the Matrix?
Not a lot.
That's interesting that you can live in this reality and not know much about
it. But I do know, like, the basis of it being, like, you break out of the Matrix of, like, breaking out of this, like, slavery realm kind of, I don't know, video game. I don't know. I don't really know, but I feel like I kind of know.
The Matrix is something in it. Like, it is, like, the Matrix is like a physical thing
that you break out of.
Yeah. physical and mental, but it's technically like it is a physical. It's not just mental.
Okay.
Whereas like I feel like in this realm, the Matrix is the mental thing.
Right.
In like the movie, it's both, but it's like physical. You have like
you have to physically break out of it too. Okay.
Wow. I just can't. I just. Really good.
Sorry to disappoint you.
It's really good. It's really interesting. I got into it a long time ago, just because my dad showed it to me.
Yeah,
like, you'd like this. I was like, I'll give it a go.
I'm sure I would really love it.
It's really interesting. When I got into it, I was not in any type of spiritual like reality. I was just imagining like, what if this was true? And what's fun about it is that I can't prove it. So I love that theory of like, what if this is in one reality? In one reality, it probably is. Is it ours? I don't know.
I love thinking about that. It's like
everything's happening.
Whenever like almost get in a car accident or something like that, I'm like, damn, me in a different reality just got wrecked.
Yes.
I'm like glad it wasn't this one because that's not supposed to happen to me in this one.
I do that shit all the time, and I wonder when I have those thoughts. I'm like, is it just an intrusive thought, or did my awareness jump because I did? So like, I don't just think of that normally.
Because it's like, are there 5-dimension realities, or there are 5 billion trillion thousand endless amounts?
Yeah, we go off of science, endless. We don't have any proof of there being any limit and end. So, and that's why I say in reality, technicalities, everything is possible and happening at the same exact moment. Like there is some reality where I'm a famous singer, like I always wanted to be. And this one, I'm just being cool.
I'm chilling.
You know, some reality. Some reality, I'm probably a doctor. You. Good for her.
Good for her. In a perfect world, we would combine herbal medicine, functional healing, and Western medicine.
Yeah.
Why did you say it like that?
I was just thinking.
I know. I could tell you looked so like distracted. You were like, "Yeah."
I was like,
you were like, "What did this bitch say?"
I was like, I knew I should say something there, but I was just in thought.
Yeah. Leave me alone.
I mean, I guess there are people out there who've never seen it, but it's crazy.
I will watch The Matrix, I promise. And Midnight Gospel.
Yeah, when? Because there's a lot of things you said I will watch and you never started.
I don't know why you're feeling the need to call me out so heavily on this episode.
I guess you just needed it. You needed everybody to be aware.
Damn it, Saige.
What the fuck is this?
The little devil horns.
I'm gonna do that.
That's cute. You could definitely do that. Right here, right here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Totally cute.
The fucking look.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, guys, but that's you can really find spirituality and all these hidden meanings, hidden messages, pretty much anything. For real. You just kind of gotta look for them. What were some of the tools that spirit science? Not tools, but the ways to identify or find the hidden meanings. You said that there's,
they do
look for them.
I just remember like watching help me kind of know how to look for it. I guess I never really thought about it other than just like I started noticing the patterns of what they were looking for. This is unfortunate about. I don't know exactly what it is, but I guess I feel like really how I started like figuring out was just me, anything I watched. Like it could literally be a YouTube video you watched, movie, a TV show, whatever. I challenge you, sit down and go, what could this possibly mean on a deep level? And you will start answering the question and you'll be shocked at like all the things you start to kind of pick
just
apart.
let your mind wander.
Yeah, because you start picking apart things and you're like, if you start going, is it this deep or am I just like bullshitting? It's that deep.
Right.
Stop questioning yourself. You're intellectual and you're discovering what is intellectual about what you're watching. We're just trained that if it's intellectual, it's too deep. That's not what they're trying to do. They're trying to entertain. That's not really necessarily true.
Yeah, like that's how you get hidden messages out is through, media like that. And that's why all of these movies are really talking a lot about, I guess, hidden agendas in higher control.
Yeah, they're trying to like,
they are like these things are happening. They're real into some form of reality.
Yeah.
But they are happening in this realm.
It's happening.
Sound like Alan Watts over here. It's but a happening. Oh my god, he's amazing. He was before his time, for sure.
I can't believe I literally never knew who he was until 2019.
We should have an entire episode where we just get a few of his quotes and break them down.
That'd be down.
But yeah, well, I guess we'll wrap it up for today. Thanks for joining us on our episode. Again, I don't think we introduced ourselves on this one. I'm Saige, and this is the Ethereal Podcast. We hope to see you next time. Love and light.